The Monastery of Batalha, officially known as the Monastery of St. Mary of the Victory, Mosteiro de Santa Maria da Vitória, is a Dominican convent located in Batalha, Portugal. It was commissioned by King João I in 1386 to commemorate the Portuguese victory over the Castilians at the Battle of Aljubarrota in 1385. The Battle of Aljubarrota was a pivotal conflict in Portuguese history that took place on August 14, 1385. It was fought between the Kingdom of Portugal, led by King John I of Portugal and his general Nuno Álvares Pereira, against the Crown of Castile, led by King John III of Castile. The battle occurred near the town of Aljubarrota in central Portugal, between Leiria and Alcobaça. It was part of the Portuguese crisis of 1383-1385, which began when King Ferdinand IV of Portugal died without a male heir. The Portuguese were significantly outnumbered, with about 6,600 men facing a Castilian force of around 31,000. Portugal had support from English longbowmen, while Castile was supported by French and Aragonese allies. The Portuguese used innovative tactics, including a defensive position on high ground and hidden trenches to trap the enemy cavalry. Despite being outnumbered, the Portuguese achieved a decisive victory, suffering fewer than 1,000 casualties while inflicting 4,000-5,000 casualties on the Castilian forces. This victory secured Portuguese independence, established the House of Aves as the new ruling dynasty, and ended Castilian claims to the Portuguese throne. The battle is remembered as a crucial moment in Portuguese history, symbolizing national independence and military prowess against overwhelming odds. The Monastery of Batalha is considered one of the most important cultural and historical landmarks in Portugal for several key reasons. It was built to commemorate Portugal's victory in the Battle of Aljubarrota in 1385, which secured Portuguese independence from Castile and marked the beginning of the Aves dynasty. The monastery is a masterpiece of Gothic and Manueline architecture, showcasing the evolution of Portuguese architectural styles over several centuries. It served as the burial church for the 15th century Aves dynasty of Portuguese royalty, including King João I and his wife, as well as Prince Henry the Navigator. It features some of Portugal's earliest stained glass windows and exquisite stone carvings, particularly in the royal cloister and Founders Chapel. It was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 due to its historical, cultural, and architectural significance. The monastery was one of the first buildings in Portugal to use stained glass windows. Its construction and preservation represent Portugal's independence and cultural heritage. The chapter house features an impressive 19-meter star-shaped ribbed vault without central support, showcasing architectural ingenuity. The Founders Chapel, Capelas Imperfeitas or unfinished chapels, in the Monastery of Batalha, is also unique for several reasons. It was intended as the first royal pantheon of Portugal, serving as a burial place for King João I and his successors. The chapel features breathtaking Manueline-style decorations, characterized by intricate stonework and delicate detailing. It showcases a fusion of architectural styles, blending Gothic elements with a distinctly Portuguese Manueline style. The chapel remains unfinished, giving it a unique aesthetic and historical significance. Construction was halted in the 16th century, leaving it in an incomplete state. It has an octagonal structure which is separate from, but adjoining the main monastery building. The chapel is adorned with ornate tombs of King João I, Queen Philippa of Lancaster, and their sons, including Prince Henry the Navigator. Its decorative elements include a mix of religious and maritime influences, reflecting Portugal's seafaring history. The chapel's intricate stonework is considered some of the finest examples of Manueline architecture in Portugal. Despite being unfinished, it is often described as one of the most impressive features of the entire monastery complex. From its initial construction in 1386 to its restoration in the 19th and early 20th centuries, the monastery has played a significant role in Portuguese history for over 600 years. This monastery is renowned for its architectural significance, blending late flamboyant Gothic and Manueline styles. Its construction spanned over a century, from 1386 to circa 1517, involving 7 kings and 15 architects. The Napoleonic troops, specifically those under Marshal Massena, had a significant negative impact on the Monastery of Batalha's architecture. In 1810 and 1811, Napoleonic troops sacked and burned the monastery complex, causing extensive damage. This destruction was part of a larger pattern of looting and fires that occurred during the fighting against French troops in 1810. The damage inflicted by Napoleonic forces was considered even more severe than the effects of the 1755 earthquake, which had also caused some harm to the structure. The vandalism extended to specific architectural elements. For instance, the altar in the church was vandalized by Napoleon's troops. This period of destruction contributed to the monastery falling into ruin, along with its later abandonment when the Dominicans were expelled in 1834. The extensive damage caused by the Napoleonic troops necessitated significant restoration efforts in later years. In 1840, King Ferdinand II of Portugal initiated a restoration program to save the monastery, which continued into the early 20th century. This intervention was crucial in preserving and reconstructing much of the Gothic and Manueline architecture that we see today. Key features of the monastery include the Church of Santa Maria da Vitória. This church is an integral part of the monastery complex and serves multiple purposes. It was originally built as part of the Dominican convent to commemorate the Portuguese victory in the Battle of Aljubarrota in 1385. The church served as a burial place for the 15th century Aviz dynasty of Portuguese royalty. It is renowned for its architectural significance, showcasing a blend of late flamboyant Gothic and Manueline styles. The interior of the church is notable for its vast and narrow proportions, with a height of 32.4 meters and a width of 22 meters. The nave was raised to its present height by the second architect, Huguet, altering the original proportions and giving it its current appearance. The interior gives a sober and bare impression due to the lack of ornaments and statues in the nave. Light enters the church through 10 stained glass windows in the clear story, tall traceried windows in the side walls and transept, and 2 rows of lanciform windows in the choir. The choir extends into 2 bay transepts and consists of 5 apsidal chapels, with the central one projecting. The church features ribbed vaults supported by compound piers, with ornamented keystones. Batalha likely had Portugal's first workshop for stained glass windows, with the oldest dating back to the 1430s. The Manueline ogival stained glass windows in the choir, dating from the 1520s and 1530s, depict scenes from the lives of Jesus and Mary. The main portal of the Church of Santa Maria da Vitória in the Monastery of Batalha is a remarkable feature with intricate sculptural work. Here are the key details about the main portal sculptures. The portico entrance, designed by architect Huguet, is considered unique in the history of Portuguese art and is filled with complex iconography. On both sides of the portal are sculptures of the 12 apostles. These apostle figures stand on consoles that are intricately carved. The portal features a high-relief statue of Christ in majesty. In addition to the apostles and Christ, the portal includes intricate carvings of biblical figures and medieval musicians. The sculptural work on the main portal is considered one of the most impressive examples of Gothic art in Portugal. The portal's design and execution demonstrate the high level of craftsmanship and artistic skill present during the monastery's construction period. This elaborate entrance serves as a visual introduction to the grandeur and religious significance of the church interior. The main portal sculptures not only enhance the aesthetic appeal of the church, but also serve an important religious and educational function, depicting key figures and scenes from Christian theology for the medieval audience. Today, the church continues to be used for religious purposes, including the celebration of Dominican masses, holy days, and weddings. The Church of Santa Maria da Vitória is a central feature of the Monastery of Batalha, which has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1983 due to its historical, cultural, and architectural importance. This highlights its historical, cultural, and architectural importance. It stands as one of Portugal's most significant Gothic buildings and played a crucial role in developing a unique national architectural style. One legend, the legend of Our Lady of the Way, Nossa Senhora do Caminho, is associated with the Monastery of Batalha. According to the legend, one day a Dominican friar from the monastery was on his way to work in the fields. At a bend in the road, the friar came across an image of Our Lady. The friar took the image to the Monastery of Batalha. Mysteriously, the image disappeared from the monastery twice, only to be found again at the same spot where it was originally discovered. This recurring event was interpreted as a divine sign that Our Lady wanted to remain at that location. As a result, a small chapel was built at the site where the image was repeatedly found. This chapel is known as the Chapel of Nossa Senhora do Caminho, Our Lady of the Way. The chapel can still be found in the town of Batalha, near the monastery. This legend is tied to the concept of the Virgin Mary's guidance and protection of travelers and pilgrims. The legend of Our Lady of the Way adds to the rich tapestry of stories and religious significance surrounding the Monastery of Batalha, enhancing its cultural and spiritual importance in the region. The other legend is about Martim Gonçalves de Macadam. Martim Gonçalves de Macada was a knight who is said to have saved King João III's life during the Battle of Aljubarrota in 1385. This battle was crucial in Portuguese history, securing Portuguese independence from Castile and marking the beginning of the Aviz dynasty. As a tribute to his heroic deed, Martim Gonçalves de Macada's tomb is located in the Monastery of Batalha, close to the founder's chapel, Capela do Fundador. The presence of his tomb in such a prominent location within the monastery underscores the importance of his actions during the battle. This legend contributes to the rich historical narrative surrounding the Monastery of Batalha and its connection to the Battle of Aljubarrota. In addition to the Church of Santa Maria da Vitória, there are several other notable areas and features to see at the Monastery of Batalha. The Royal Cloister is one of the highlights, showcasing exquisite Manueline-style carvings and intricate stonework. The Chapter House is a large square room with an impressive star-shaped ribbed vault ceiling, spanning 19 meters without any central support. The Cloister of King Afonso V is a more sober, Gothic-style cloister, contrasting with the flamboyant Royal Cloister. The Royal Pantheon is located in the Founder's Chapel. It houses the tombs of King João V, Queen Philippa of Lancaster, and their sons, including Prince Henry the Navigator. A memorial to the unknown soldier from World War I, with an eternal flame. The monastery's exterior is adorned with a profusion of gables, spires, pinnacles, and buttresses, showcasing Gothic and Manueline styles. These elements collectively make the Monastery of Batalha a masterpiece of Portuguese architecture and a UNESCO World Heritage Site.